Hello and welcome to another episode of the New Mom Who Dis podcast. I'm your host, Katie, and I am trying to sneak in a little quickie episode while Cooper is napping. He's already been napping for maybe like 15 minutes, so we'll see how this goes. And also, if you're watching some video, sorry for the quality, not the best in this lighting and everything, but that's what we have to work with today. So I wanted to come on and do a quickie because there's just been something on my heart lately about trusting a mother's intuition. And I feel like it's come up for multiple days in a row. So it's making me just have to speak about it. But one of the things that I want to start implementing in these podcasts is reading an affirmation card from this deck that I got when I was newly postpartum from one of my best friends. I am very big into spirituality and manifestation and affirmation cards. And while it's come in and out of my life in multiple seasons, I am very much wanting to re-implement it in a bigger way than it has been since I got pregnant. It's been really difficult, but it's something that I'm trying to be more intentional about. So these helped me a lot in the newly postpartum phase. And then I just kind of stopped or forgot about them as life went on. And I have recently started digging into these again just because I need little daily reminders. So I would love to pull a card from this deck um, at the beginning of every podcast moving forward. So as long as I remember. So let's see what we got today. We'll pull our first card. And this is why I love affirmation cards because it literally says, I trust my intuition. That is not something that I planned. I swear. I just pulled a random pile and a random card. And on the back, it says, as my baby grows, so does my confidence as a mother. I listen to my inner wisdom and feel my self doubt fade away. And this resonates so much that I'm literally getting emotional about it because this is why I love this type of, you can call it woo-woo stuff, because it is exactly what I needed to hear and exactly what I wanted to talk about today. So it still blows my mind when things align like that. But the reason that I wanted to talk about this is because it's just been coming into my thought patterns and I've been questioning a lot of things lately as a mom. And then something will happen where I'm like, I should have just trusted my intuition, like I should have known. And can't like even remember off the top of my head what those instances were in the past couple of days. But today, this morning, I was going to go to the grocery store and I got Coop all ready and in the car. And kind of while we were getting ready, he was yawning. And I kept saying, are you tired? Like, are you ready for your first nap? Because he still takes two naps. And I was like, no, like we can make it to the store. Like you've only been up for 2 hours. Usually your first nap is like 3 hours into waking up. So we can make it to the store, but we have about an hour. And as we kept getting ready, he kept yawning. And I'm like, well, there's a possibility that he'll fall asleep in the car. And let me tell you, if he falls asleep in the car, that's game over. Okay. He falls asleep in the car and then wakes up. We have missed the nap time window. And so I was like, if you fall asleep in the car, like it's not that big of a deal. And I was trying to talk myself out of it. And then I got him in the car seat, buckled in, and he did the biggest yawn and was rubbing his eyes. And I was like, you know what? I'm trusting my intuition. The last few days, I've been questioning it and going against it. And so I'm trusting my intuition. I'm taking you out of the car. We're going upstairs and putting you down for a nap. And I am so glad that I did because that's exactly what he needed. And so not only did I trust my intuition, but I trusted his cues. And I think sometimes I don't trust my intuition. And not that I don't trust it, but I don't follow my intuition because there are like other things distracting me. Like maybe I want to be more productive, right? Like going to the grocery store. I know I need to go. And now I don't really know if I'm going to have a window of opportunity the rest of the day. But that's fine. Like I have to learn to let go of some of that stuff and not be as productive if it means trusting my intuition or doing what's right for Coop, especially if it isn't something that's dire. Like I don't need to go to the grocery store right now. I'm not out of food, like it's fine. It can wait. I think for me, it's really difficult to not feel like I'm being productive or doing something. And so that's what stands in the way of me trusting my intuition. That or outside influences, like somebody telling me that I'm not doing the right thing or I should try something else or, XYZ. And that really sticks with me. And I'm like, diehard people pleaser, have been for as long as I can remember. And so a lot of times I'll do things just because I don't want to upset another person, or I'll try something, even if it goes against my like intuition or my like, not beliefs, but for lack of a better word right now, I'll just give it a try. And just so I don't hurt the other person. And as a mom, I'm starting to or I have started maybe in the past few months, really start to trust that intuition and lean into the confidence of being a mom and in my choices because so quickly you can start to spiral into I'm not a good mom, I'm not making the right decisions, can I do this? All the things. And I'm just so over other people making me feel that way. Even if it's indirectly, just little comments here and there. Or I have had people just straight up tell me that I'm doing something wrong and that what I'm venting about or complaining about is my own fault and my own doing. And let me tell you, when you're a mom and you're already second guessing every single decision that you're making for your kid, and then that gets thrown in your face, it makes you feel like even worse of a mom because it's almost validating all of the thoughts that you already have about yourself. So it's an awful feeling. And I don't ever want to make another mom feel that way. I hope anyone listening or watching never makes another mom feel that way because it's awful. Like we all have a right to make the choices that we want to make for our kids, whether or not somebody else does the same thing or thinks it's the right decision. We have to go with our intuition, our gut. We know what's best for our kids. And even if it doesn't work out, it's our lesson to learn and our process to go through. So, that's all of that just to say, like, I'm just so over people making me feel that way. Again, whether it's indirectly or directly, that I have to start standing my ground and I have to start standing up for what I believe in and the choices that I'm making as a mom. That's not something that I've ever done for myself. It's something that's been very difficult for me my whole life. I don't stick up for myself. I will kind of just like back down. It's very uncomfortable for me. I don't like confrontation. And so a lot of times that's what I do. I just swallow whatever pill and I move on, or cry about it later or bitch about it later. And when I became a mom and now that I'm a year into motherhood, I'm not okay with doing that for my child. And I'm not okay with doing that for the choices that I make for him. It's no longer okay for me to just people please or go against my own beliefs, my own intuition and my partners like together just to make somebody else happy. Like this is now no longer about me, it is about my child. And I remember talking to somebody about them becoming a mom before I had Coop. And she was telling me that being a mom makes you reflect on your own inner child and almost see decision making for yourself through their eyes. And as I'm like in it with motherhood, it couldn't be more true. And so not only am I learning how to be more comfortable and confident in my choices as a mom, but it's making me view myself as an inner child more and stand up for myself and draw boundaries and make choices for myself. And that is one of the most difficult things. It's still difficult, but it's easier to do it for my kid because it's like, I'm the mom, I'm going to make the decision, and that's that. But when it's like yourself, for me to not really have done that through my whole life, that has been super challenging. And I've disappointed some people who are very, very close to me, which is the worst part about drawing boundaries and standing up for yourself, at least for me, is hurting other people. That's obviously not the intention, but it's a consequence. And if they don't like the boundaries you're setting, or if they don't agree with the boundaries that you're setting, it's uncomfortable and it's disappointing and it hurt and they're going to be hurt. But at the end of the day, you know, it's hopefully something that you can work through and get past, and they'll realize that it isn't about them and it's not a like it's nothing personal. It's literally just you or me as an individual trying to make the best decisions for ourselves. And so that's just a lot of what I've been learning in this whole motherhood process. Especially, like I said, in the last couple of days, things have just been happening to where I've gone against like what I know in my gut. And then later on, I'll be like, I should have just done that. Like, I knew that was going to happen. Or I like, especially with kids, like as you, it's intuition, but it's also patterns. Like, you know your kid best, you know their patterns best, you know their habits best. So it's just standing confidently in the ground as a mom is really difficult, but also very important because like I said, like we already have so many intrusive thoughts as moms, and it's totally normal. And I don't have them to the extent of having anxiety super bad or anything like that, or OCD, but the intrusive thoughts are always there. Am I doing the right thing? I mean, one of the biggest things right now for me is solids. And am I feeding him enough? Am I giving him enough protein? Am I giving him enough iron? Am I giving him enough this, that, the other? Like I question it on a daily basis. And I also like was reading something today that said babies or toddlers only need, I think it was like 2 ounces of protein from 12 to 23 months. And I was like, 2 ounces of protein, like that's not a lot at all. He's definitely getting that. And here I am thinking it's like an adult where you have to have protein at every meal. And anyway, I'm getting off topic, but that's just something that I struggle with. And so of all these intrusive thoughts in my head about, am I doing the right thing by him? Am I feeding him properly? Like, yeah, all the decisions. So we are always already second guessing the decisions that we made. We do not need to bring in outside influences to validate our worst fears about ourselves or to just further make us second guess ourselves. Stand confidently in the decisions that you're making as a parent. Stand confidently that even if it's not the right choice, that's your learning process to go through. That's your lesson to learn as a parent. And that's how we grow as parents, right? That's how we grow as individuals. We have to fail and we have to learn along the way. And I just am really passionate about saying, like, stand confident in your decisions, stand confident in your decisions. Another example that I can give is sleeping. Like, that's probably been one of the biggest point of contentions with Cooper is I personally, unpopular opinion here, do not believe in sleep training. Okay, I tried it because it's what all the books say, it's what the doctors say, but it did not feel right. It did not work for us. And I didn't even do it in an extreme way, in a cry it out way. That's a whole nother conversation. But we did it in a gentle way and it started to work. And then, we got sick and we had family come to town and then he regressed and it just didn't feel right to go through that process again. And then I also did some research on my own and there's a lot of new information out there and studies. And I just personally am making the decision and have made the decision to not sleep train. And that's my choice. And so, yes, I deal with the consequences of that. Cooper does not sleep through the night. Is that because he's not sleep trained? It, no, that could not even make a difference, but it could be making a difference. But I'm willing to go through those consequences because that is something that I don't believe in. And a lot of people might say that I'm wrong or whatever, that not the right choice, but it's something that me and my partner confidently made the decision on. So just, it doesn't even matter if it's like a controversial thing or just a small thing, like giving him dairy milk versus plant-based milk. I mean, there's so many things out there that are controversial these days. But again, you as a mom, you as parents are going to figure out the right thing for you and your family. So just don't get so consumed with, whether it's friends, family, books, social media, anything. Like it's overwhelming the amount of information and opinions of other people and other things out there. So just try to rein it in and hone in on your intuition. Just as this card says, I trust my intuition. It is there for a reason. It was biologically programmed into us to have this intuition as a mom and to step into this role. So trust that. And I'm going to send it off and end this episode by rereading the back of the card that says, as my baby grows, so does my confidence as a mother. I listen to my inner wisdom and feel my self-doubt fade away. And that really reigns true every single day, every decision you make, that confidence is going to grow. So I'm here with you in every journey as a mom, and I'm wishing you the absolute best. Until next time, have a great day.